Hi, my name's Mandy and welcome to my craft room. Today is Tuesday the 13th of March 2025. So no further ado, I'm going to show you a quick preview of my planner for March. This is a free download from the Fat Quarter shop. I've already populated the planner with the projects I intend to work on. Those squares you can see I've coloured in green as the projects I've already started to work on. So no further ado, let's start off with my first project, and that is a spring small. You may recall I worked on this cross-stitch pattern. It was a couple of vlogs ago I finished it. It was All Things Grow With Love by Primrose Cottage Stitches. And there was a bonus pattern on the back to make a small called Strawberry Cottage. So I have finished stitching this and I've made it into a small. So I just thought I'd show you the progress of making that. If you go on to the Primrose Cottage Stitches YouTube channel, there are plenty of tutorials on there on how to finish these smalls. So this is where I got the idea from for wrapping this twine round. I found a couple of little wooden buttons which were in the shape of strawberry, so I thought, well, I'll use those up, and I've just popped a little wooden heart there which was also in my stash, and I finished it as shown on that little clip with this wool felt heart. So I just used my pinking shears to cut the heart out and stitch it to the back where the opening was. So yeah, I'm really pleased how this turned out, and I can't wait to show this in my tray in summer. So yeah, that'll be on my dresser. Right, Monday I like to work on a miniature project, and I've been working on this one. It's Mrs. Cottontail, and this was a kit I purchased from Liberty Bell, which is an online store in the UK. Now, I think it was last Easter, it was last spring anyway, I had made this up already and I showcased it on my dresser. But my daughter, a couple of Christmases ago, also bought me this kit, so I thought I'll make it up, make this one up and give it her for Easter. So yeah, it's lovely. It's got these little baby bunnies in her apron pocket. So I am filming making this, the progress of this, but this is how far I've got. I'm keeping everything in this little box so I don't lose anything, and I've already made up the bunny. I've stuffed all the limbs and everything, and I've just got to put the bunny together and then to start making her dress and apron. I've also got another bunny kit. Again, it's a kit from Liberty Bell, and this one is called Petite Fleur. So once I've made Mrs. Cottontail up, I intend to make Petite Fleur up. So those are my bunny kits. So I'll be quite busy on a Monday making those up. Tuesday I like to work on my cross stitch, and I've been working on A Year at Hawkrun Hollow by Carriage House Samplings. Now I've started to work on this block here, which is the October one. Last time I spoke to you, I'd gotten this far. I just started to work on the October block there, and now I've completed working on the cauldron and the witch. I've only got a couple of motifs to stitch there and some more words, and that block is complete. Well, will be completed. So this is being worked on a 18 count Ada. It's vintage country mocha, and you can see there's a slight mottling to it. It's a beautiful fabric. So yeah. Now, although I devote my Tuesdays to this cross stitch, I also wanted to work on some other patterns. I couldn't resist it. So I've been watching Anne from Tobyknits, and she suggests working for 3 hours on a project, and I thought, oh, that's a good idea, because I have been just having a goal of putting in so many stitches, you see. So I thought, well, 3 hours sounds a lot better, so that's what I've done. I've pinched that idea from her. So although on a Tuesday I tend to stitch on my Hawks Run Hollow, I've also started a new project. It's a Spring Quaker by Primrose Cottage Stitches. Now I had this Ada fabric, it's a 14 count, in my stash, so I decided I would use this up, and I'm really loving stitching this. Can't put it down, hence the progress. And I'm using this DMC thread. It's number 52. It's one of these variegated threads, so I love it, because 1 minute you're stitching with the lilac, and then you go into this lovely rich deep purple colour. So I do need to get another one actually. I think I might not have enough to finish the project, but yeah, loving every moment of that. So on a Wednesday I like to work on with wool, and I wanted to finish this cardigan off. So using Anne's principle again, I worked on this for 3 hours at a time, and I finished off the band. This really helped me using this 3 hour principle, because knitting this band was getting a bit tedious. But this is a cardigan, I knit this up on my new knitting machine. It's a Silver Reed LK150, which I purchased at Christmas from Hobbycraft. So this is a drop sleeve cardigan. The pattern is from this book. It's the Ann Budd Book of Sweater Patterns. And some of these sweaters you knit in the flat, you see, so that's useful for transposing the pattern to my knitting machine. However, this is a drop sleeve, and I'm not very fond of drop sleeves, but I just wanted to get some practice in, and I used 150, this is the book here, Scandinavian Knitting Designs by Mary Jane Muckleston for the pattern. So there's the pattern at the bottom of the cardigan. I think last time I spoke to you, I'd more or less finished this, except for, like I say, the band. But when I tried it on my granddaughter, she found the cuff a little bit tight. So I've undone the cuff and I've cast off using a stretchy bind off, so that'll be more comfortable for her. I've just got to sew 3 buttons on in the lilac colour. And it's a V-neck sweater. I don't know if you can tell because I haven't straightened it out yet, but yeah, the buttons all go on at the bottom of the V. There's just 3 buttons to stitch on there, so that's another finish. And then I'm going to start a crew neck jumper. Now I want to get used to knitting a raglan. That's my next challenge, a raglan jumper on this knitting machine. So I've been watching some YouTube channels and I'm hoping to give that a go. So this is the wool I've purchased. It's from Holly's Haberdashery. It's a Stylecraft Highland Heathers. It's got this beautiful mould effect and the colourway is Hawthorn. So I'll be able to show you at the end of this month the progress on that jumper. Next is my WIPGO. So because I'd finished my All Things Grow with Love, I've incorporated a new project into the WIPGO board, and this one is called Chicken Feed Sack. Again, it's by Carriage House Samplings. I saw this on the Country Stitches. I think Deb stitched this and I thought it was really pretty. So yeah, there's quite a few projects in the Feed Sack collection. I think this is the one she did. So again, I was lucky enough to buy some linen. Again, this is from the charity shop. It's a Zweigart and it's a 32 count Belfast linen. I thought, right, I'll stitch that up. So the floss suggested, there's just 2 colours. There's the DMC 3777 and 728. So I've got the 3777 and I've already put it onto a floss drop. I've made this, it's just punched out a circular card and attached the floss to it. So that's that. And I didn't have the 728, but I've got 972. So I thought that would also look nice. So I think the chicken feed sack will look lovely in those colours. So we'll see how we get on. Can't wait to start stitching on that. Right, my other number, what was called, I think it was 24, and this is Living in This project bag here. I'll show you the pattern. I haven't done any work on this yet since I last spoke to you, but this is Pumpkins Please by Erica Michaels. I'm stitching this again. I think this is an 18 count, but it was just some Ada I had in stash, so I shall be working on this as well. I also made a costume for my granddaughter Ivy for World Book Day. I'll pop a photograph of her wearing a costume. She wanted to go as the snow ghost, and I took the costume over on the Tuesday night, and I'm not kidding you, she was so excited, and so on Wednesday she went dressed as the snow ghost to school. My daughter also made her younger daughter a costume. She wanted to go as Peppa Pig, so here is a picture of her dressed as Peppa Pig. I have also devoted some days to kitting up projects. I don't know about you, but it takes me ages to kit them up. So yeah, here we go. I'll show you an overhead view of these lovely projects that I'll soon start stitching on. This is my first project bag I'm using. You've seen this before. I think it's Michael Miller. It's like, it's not called Cowpoke. I forgot what this one was called. But it depicts these little vintage inspired children dressed up as cowboys by the looks of things. So yeah, and I've popped on a little Laurie Holt charm there. So I've decided to use this project bag to stitch the vintage farmhouse. It's a pattern designed by Laurie Pengali. I think that's how you pronounce her name, and it was in the Primitive Quilts and Projects magazine. Now I'm pretty sure it might have been the autumn or the summer issue, but I'll pop that information in the description box below. So I've got all my threads now, so I've decided I would actually do them in the call for threads. I think it's just this one is a DMC one. I think it was meant to be charcoal or something what was missing, but I've got all the others, the Weeks Dye Works and the Classic Colour Works. So I've decided to stitch this on a 28 count. It's a Cashel linen. Well, most Cashels are 28, aren't they? And I think this was made in Germany, the Cashel linen. That's right, isn't it? And again, we got the orange stripe there, show it was what I got. So this was a piece I purchased from Hobbycraft. I think it was on sale, or I think it was when COVID was on, and I was struggling to get linen, so any linen I saw I happened to grab basically. But for this particular piece I need at least 17.5 inches by 23, and this measures 19 by 27, so there's plenty there. I've just got to zigzag the edges, overlap them, but those will be the colours to use. Okay, so this one I shared with you on my last vlog, but now I have popped a project. This will house the sunflower farm, and this is a pattern by Cuore e Batticuore. Okay, my Italian isn't brilliant, right? Or I think it is Italian. So I'm using these little bags what I got from the wool warehouse. But these are my DMCs, so I'm doing this in DMC. I've made my own floss drops, as you can see. Okay, and yeah, these will be the colours. They're not all the call for, so I've had to use some alternatives. But yeah, they are now straightening out, because as I was saying before, I was, I don't know if I did say before, but anyway, I usually bobbinate, but I've decided to join in and use floss drops. So they're now straightening out quite nicely actually. So yeah. Now, I'm not quite sure about the linen I've chosen for this. I'm not sure. I don't know. I think I might. See, it looks dark when it's on its own, you know, folded up. But when you pull it out, it's a lot lighter. But I do like to see here these, you know, these dyes. It's really picking up. Wow. And I just don't know whether to stitch something a little bit more old-fashioned on this, if you know what I mean. Like a sampler or something. I don't know yet. Can't quite make up my mind. So when I come to stitch this, I will make my mind up. And this is my little needle book. So that's getting all ready there. Whoops. That's it. Popper's working. Pop that in. And that. So yeah. That is my project there. One is living in this project bag, which I shared with you on my last vlog. I just, yeah, love this. Right, let's open out. And this is the project I've kitted up. It's the Maria di Compadre 1896, and it's from Leela's Studios. There's the original. And yeah, I've ticked off some of the DMCs. I'm stitching this with DMC. I've just got a few that I've substituted. Again, I'll show you the linen first. So this is a 36 count Legacy Edinburgh linen. Oh, isn't that gorgeous? You can really see the markings on that, can't you? So loving that. These are the floss drops, and as you can see, it's all coming out now, those crinkles. So yeah, they've been hanging up. So I've made those floss drops, and yeah, there we go. I do a lot of scrapbooking in the past, and I've got a lot of card. So yeah, that's what these flowers are. And I thought those were rather apt, because if you look on the pattern here, I mean, look at these roses, absolutely beautiful. So yeah, can't wait. I thought there would have been a lot more coral, but there isn't. But yeah, there are the flossies there for this particular project. Now this is a 36, so I might be stitching this 1/1, but it does say it'll give me a 12 by 12 1/4. So cross stitch 1 strand over 2. Yeah, so it'll be 1 strand over 2 fabric threads, and it should give me a 12 by 12 1/4 stitch size. And to be honest, to look at it, I think I would struggle to get 2 threads through that. I've made a little needle book. I made that as part of my March makes, and it matches the poison bottle, or the bottle of perfume. Looks poisonous, doesn't it, because it's black, but it matches that. I've stitched on a little charm which I had in my stash, which is the Eiffel Tower. There we go. I've got my wax ready, and I'll just pop some needles in. I've got some there. Yeah. Need to get some scissors. So I'm all ready to go with that. There's my hoop ready. And the threads. Okay, next project is living in this project back. Shared this with you on my last vlog as well. Just loving these cherries. So let's open out and have a look. I've got to make the needle book for this yet, but I also purchased this pattern whilst on holiday from the Crafty Framer, and it's his eye is on the sparrow, and it's a heartstring samplery. Now what you should do, well, what I should do, is look at the stitch count before I go buying, because I live in a small house. I don't live in an over large house, and this house does have big windows for some reason, so there's not a lot of wall space. So if we look here, look at that, 435 over 363. Gosh, massive. Now this was stitched on a 28 count doubloon with 1 thread over 2. So I've ordered the doubloon. Let's take all this out. So this is the 28 count doubloon. It's lovely, isn't it? And like I say, it is quite a big sizable piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch this 1 over 1, because otherwise it's, you know, it's too big. These pieces are getting very big, you see, so I am seriously going to stitch 1 thread over 1 for this. Now I'm pretty sure it was Sherry from the Colorado Crosstitch. Now she was stitching hers on a higher count, but I think I can get away with it. And these, oh, I'll show you against the actual fabric, that would be good. So these are the threads. I haven't opened them out or anything yet, but that's the threads. Also hoping to finish off my long awaited quilt. So I did start a block of the month. It was a couple of years ago. I was attending workshops at Liberty Bell, and we were making the Riverside Knoll. It's all pieced together, but I just need now to quilt it up. So I'm hoping in the next couple of weeks to show you how I quilt up my quilt ready for stitching. So the backings, I've got the backing, so I've got the backing, I've got the batting. I just need to now baste it all together. So that's what I'm hoping to show you in the next couple of weeks, how I do that. I've got a bit of haul. I've purchased a book from the Wilder Books. It's called Sweetly Stitched Handmaids by Amy, I think it's pronounced Cinny Baldy. But there we go. I saw this on Jen's channel, Jenn Bowman. Hi Jen, if you're watching. Isn't it gorgeous? This is, I think this is what she made, and yeah, I couldn't resist buying this. I'll show you a picture. It's beautiful. There's lots of projects in here, so over the next few weeks you'll probably see some of these projects appearing. I'll show you another. Oh, look at this. I really want to make some of these projects, I really do, and so excited. I love this as well. This is lovely in the girls' playroom. These little caddies. And look at this little quilt. Oh, yeah. My daughter wants me to make a little quilt for the baby, and I think this is lovely. So yeah, that's that. I've also purchased, when I was on holiday in Florida last year, I purchased this one. It's called Breath of Spring, and this is using crayons, which I'll go into a little more depth in another vlog on how I get on with this. And this is Bare Roots Little Stitches. Isn't that gorgeous? Sorry about the glare, but it's in the plastic packet still. And then this one is Buttermilk Basin. And if you've watched me for a while, you know I do like the Buttermilk Basin patterns. This is Little Penny Mat. I also purchased this. I saw this on this pattern. It was oh gosh, the cereal, look, Brenda and the Serial Stitcher, Laura. So I think it was Brenda had made stitched some pairs, and I thought these were beautiful. So this is the Red Work Pairs by Annie B's Folk Art. Couldn't resist purchasing that pattern. I also got a little bit tempted when I was scrolling through Etsy, which is a bad thing to do, isn't it? And this is some fabric I purchased, and it's by Fiona Hewitt. So I'll pop a link into her Etsy shop, and this beautiful little card. So it's like an Asian retro vibe. So this is the fabric. I just couldn't resist purchasing this. It would make a nice little pillow for my daughter's baby, you know, in the nursery. But I did purchase it for a project bag, so I'll probably have enough fabric for both actually. But I thought this was really pretty. I just couldn't resist purchasing. So yeah. And it was a good, it was fast delivery as well, so I was quite pleased with that. So yeah, if you've enjoyed this vlog, please give me a like. It'd be fantastic if you could leave me a comment. I do appreciate your comments. I read them, and I do reply to them. So it would be great if you could leave me a comment, even if it's only something like good morning. It helps me, my channel, with the YouTube algorithm. So please leave me a comment. Until I see you next week, bye.